It is a beautiful evening in the city of Brownsville, Texas, and Cameron County. And as promised, we do have Dan Sanchez, who is running for Congress, with us today at the special called election after Filemon Vela opted to step down. And Judge, how you doing, Judge?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good. Happy that you're on tonight. And I know that you also time is very, very limited. So one of the things that we did promise everyone out there that we keep it short. One of the things about this special election, and especially during these days, guys, is that all candidates are going to be out there trying to get individuals to come out and vote, come out and vote. So I do appreciate your time, Judge. I know you're very, very have a very, very busy schedule, and I appreciate you coming on. So let's just get into it very, very quick. Filemon Vela opted to step aside. What is the thought process, Judge, in regards to, hey, let me throw my hat in the ring?
Well, when Philemon had to step down, he actually called me. I got a phone call from him. And Philemon asked me if I'd be willing to run for his seat to finish the term. And, running for a 6 month seat in Congress isn't something easy to do, right? I've got to give up my law practice. I've got to fund a campaign, and it's hard to raise money for a campaign for 6 months. But most importantly, I've got to be good at home. I've got two beautiful children.
Yes.
My son just turned 12 last week, and my son Daniel and my daughter Alessia, she's 8. She'll be 9 in July, and so it's an impact on the family to take on this obligation and do this. So I told Philemon, I said, let me talk to my wife. I said, in 2 days, I'll call you back. And if I call you back, that means God wants me to run because I'm still alive, right? I said, and if I call you back, that means my wife's on board. So we can go ahead and proceed, because for me to do this, she's got to hold down the fort at home and take care of the kids without me. And that's a big challenge, right? So we did that. And, in talking about it, and a lot of people have asked me, what are you doing? Why are you running? Like, this doesn't make sense, right? Economically, as a lawyer, absolutely, this doesn't make sense, right? I have
Right.
to give up my law practice entirely. But I said, let me tell you a story about when I was in high school. I was in high school, and my teacher of a business law class that I took us to a field trip to Brownsville. And we went into this old building that was a post office, but upstairs was a courthouse. And so we went into this court, and there was a mock trial, and I got to be one of the jurors. That experience that day gave me my way in life. I knew that day when I grew up, I wanted to be a lawyer. I come from a family of blue collar individuals. Nobody has a college degree until myself and Judge David Sanchez, my brother, my twin brother, got our degrees. So until then, we didn't have someone in our family or a mentor to be able to say, hey, go to college, study this, study that. Like, we just knew that we were going to study, right? And coming from a strong Catholic family, the decision on where we were going to go to school was pretty much my mom saying, why don't y'all go to St. Mary's University? It's a nice Catholic school. And so off we went, right? St. Mary's it was. And so we went to St. Mary's, went to undergrad. Then we went to law school at the University of Texas, Dave and I. And so while we were in law school, in the summers, we came down and we interned with Judge Vela. And we became really great friends with Judge Vela. And a, a dear friendship that it's hard to explain, because as coming from non-lawyer backgrounds, we couldn't conceptualize what significance a United States district judge was. So our friendship with Judge Vela was a very personal friendship on a personal level. We became really good friends. We joke around with him. We'd go to his house. We'd barbecue in the evenings. He would go in because he was an early to bed, 8 o'clock. He'd go to sleep, and he'd say, "You guys lock the gate on your way out, and don't be late in the morning, right?" And so that's what we would do. And so our friendship with the Vela family was a strong friendship, a strong bond, and because of that, it was also hard for me to say no to Filemon when he asked, because the Vela family had been an amazing inspiration for me in my career and impacted my life and my children's lives. So when Phil asked me to answer the call, I said, you know what? I'll do it. And luckily, my wife knew the friendship that I had with Judge Vela, and she also said, yes, we need to do it. So we actually dipped into our retirement fund to run this campaign. You know, we pulled 150,000 out of our retirement, and people think, well, that's crazy. You're not even going to make that while you're there as a salary. And sometimes you just got to do the right thing. There was a call, there was a need for a strong voice from South Texas, and I'm sorry, but I don't think any of my opponents have a stronger voice than I have. I don't think any of them have the experience in serving our community that I have. And so my decision was based on, if I'm not willing to volunteer and do it, how can I expect other people to do it? So I stepped up to the plate, and we're gonna hit a grand slam.
Yeah, well, you do have a powerful voice in Cameron County. I know that for a fact. And you and your family has done very, very well. I know your family personally. I've met your beautiful wife and your beautiful children as well. Because we've been to some of the same events, Judge. But talking about the children, one of the issues that has come up as of recent was, of course, we all know the Uvalde incident, where our children, 19 children, I think 19 children, two teachers, were slaughtered. Uh, what are your thoughts in regards to to gun control, Second Amendment, and also what are your thoughts in regards to school safety down here?
So anytime you're gonna get into a back and forth on people's rights, you're going to have people against and for on both sides. But there is a level of importance, as with everything, right? And I don't think there's anything more important in the world than our children, right? I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And so when I'm mediating cases, I mediate a lot of divorce cases. And the one thing I always focus on is, what is the most important thing in this divorce? And both parents can agree that it's the children, right?
Right.
And so from there, I work on settling the case. I said, if we focus on what's best for the children, we can settle this case. Well, guess what? What's best for the children is that some of these rifles not be so accessible to people of a young age. I'm going to share with you some information here that someone sent me. And it says, ages of gunmen in mass shootings. Uvalde last week, 18 years old. Buffalo, 18 years old. Parkland, 19 years old. Houston, 17 years old. Sandy Hook, 20 years old. Columbine, 18 and 17, right? Not a single one of these kids was 21. Now, I understand that the blame goes to mental health, right? Absolutely. Anybody that's going to do something like this is not well mentally. But guess what? Had we had some safeguards in place on not being able to get that weapon, that rifle, these things may not have happened. These lives that were lost may not have happened. We wouldn't have parents crying this week burying their children in Uvalde. But we have to take a stand and say, you know what? Enough's enough. And we don't have to completely outlaw guns. We don't have to completely outlaw rifles. But let's be reasonable. I can work across the aisle. I commend Senator Cornyn for stepping up and doing something. But I think we need to get a minimum age on using these rifles and being able to purchase them. I think there has to be a little bit of a waiting period. It's ironic that to drink a beer, to gamble, to buy spray paint, you have to be 21, right? If you want to rent a car, you got to be 25. If you want to purchase tobacco, you got to be 18. But here's the deal. There are age limits in place to protect the community, right? In other words, you can go to war, you can defend your country at 18. But you can't buy alcohol, right? Ironic, but it's with a greater purpose of saving the community, right? So now, what do we do? Do we do the same thing with rifles? Absolutely, right? Let's do what we need to protect our children. And when we do that, we'll be able to save some lives. Now, I'm not saying get rid of rifles completely. Let's just put some safeguards in there. The way they put safeguards on drinking, right? The way they put safeguards on gambling, on renting cars. So we can put the same safeguards in there so that these individuals that have mental health issues aren't able to get a hold of those rifles and do the things that they've done. So
But
definitely my top priority in the short time I'm going to be there is trying to work across the aisle and get some legislation done that is agreeable to both sides. That's common sense.
what about school safety in regards to militaries in our schools? Maybe trying to get more funds so that our schools could have the necessary tools that they need in order to keep our kids safe.
I think school safety is very important. I because of my ability to have the career I have, I am able to send my children to private school. Well, when you go to the school to pick up or go into the school to see anybody, you have to get buzzed in. You got to check in at the front office, and you can't go anywhere. I think all schools should have that, not just the private schools because we end up paying for it, but I think all public schools should have that safety mechanism in place because we don't just need to defend from situations like shooters. There are other people that can go to school and do harm to children. And so I think safety begins with our children.
Good.
Quick
Sanchez, what are your
question.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on? And I'll let you go, Sam. What are your thoughts on the governor asking to create committees on mental health? Isn't that what he did last time?
Well, I think it's a great idea, but guess what? When the committees are made up of people to the far right that are going to refuse to be reasonable, then what good is having a committee? It's basically pushing it on to someone else to say no instead of him just saying, you know what, let's do something.
Sam.
Yeah, quick question. Going back to this thing you were saying about the private school having to buzz you in. What about like the school? Because I'm sure that that elementary where they shot the kids had some sort of security system to where they have to buzz in because the shooter came through the back. Is there any way of like knowing that it's gonna be secured through the back? Like, are the all doors
Well,
locked?
so like my children, they go to a school in Harlingen where all the doors on the outside are locked. And if you're going to go into the school, there's only two doors that allow access, and you have to be buzzed in. Once school starts, the only way to get in is to be buzzed in. If not, you don't get in. I don't know that Uvalde had that. Uvalde may not have had that security. And I think all public schools need to get the funding to do that, regardless of whether they can afford it or not, at the very
Mhm.
least.
Let me say that tonight, I went to a church service tonight because although some people might find it strange, I actually do go to church. But let me say that on my way up there, there was five vans, five white vans full of illegal individuals, illegal children that are going to be sent, I think, to Southwest Keys as a holding until the government decides what to do with them. What is your stance on the illegal aliens as they crossing over the borders? I mean, are you for open borders? Are you for border security? And what do we do with the individuals that we already have coming over on a daily basis? The hundreds of thousands of people crossing over.
I am not for open borders. Our borders do need to be secure, but the problem that we have is our immigration system's a little archaic. We have not gotten into a we've not gotten into a system that is modern that can handle the needs of the immigration policy and what's going on right now and the influx of people from all over the world.
No, I agree completely. But what do we do now in regards to immigration reform? I mean, one of the things that I think that has been promised at Congress, at the congressional level, is in regards to immigration reform, and it has been Democrats and Republicans that have made these promises. How can we actually get true immigration reform to whereas we as a community know what to do with all these hundreds of thousands of people that are coming into our cities?
So what we have to do is we have to come up with a plan on how to handle the influx, right? And so part of the problem we have right now is we do not have enough immigration judges. We don't have enough personnel to handle all of these asylum claims. And what happens is when you can't handle their claims, you got to house them and hold them. This Title 42 is saving us right now. You know, I don't agree with setting aside Title 42. We need to keep it in place
Amen.
until we can stabilize what's going on at the border, right? So I'm not in agreement to get rid of Title 42. We need to keep it, you know. But I can also tell you this: we have a lot of people that would qualify and should get asylum, and then there's people that don't qualify, right? But if we don't come up with a plan to get them processed and those that don't qualify move out of the country, we have a surplus of individuals that we're just keeping locked up, and that doesn't make sense either.
Well, I think you're spot on. I think one of the things that I appreciated a lot about the previous administration was that we were going to start to try and vet these people as fast as possible, and the individuals that needed to be sent back. But it is an issue. Let me say, I was traveling to San Francisco just last month, and the plane was full of individuals that were coming in from Central American countries. Do you think that the Biden administration has, because of its policies, encouraged individuals to come on over?
I think just the American dream encourages everybody to come over. Look at my opponent. I mean, she claims to have been born in Burgos, Tamaulipas, and she came over. Why? For the same reason that all these other individuals are wanting to come. But we can't shut the door once we get in on the people behind us. We've got to find a way to allow them to have an opportunity, right? And I'm not saying everybody's going to come in and we're going to open it. I'm just saying we have to figure out a way to give people opportunity to do that. And we can do it if we sit down and work together. I'll give you a good example. I have a good friend of mine, and he works for a corporation in Dallas that owns a bunch of hotels. And the owner, he I actually know him. He's a friend of mine. He's a big time Republican, raises money. My friend called me and says, "Hey, you're raising a lot of cane over here running against Myra." Because the boss is raising money for Myra because they support the Republicans. I said, yeah. I said, ironically, I said, the policy that Myra would put in place isn't going to help your boss, because his boss right now, they're paying $25 an hour and they can't hire enough people to be maids in the hotels. The service industry does not have enough people. And I said, it would be a good idea once I win this congressional race that you bring your boss and my colleagues who will be his Republican friends, and we sit down and we try to come up with a plan where maybe our immigration policies can change, where we bring people in that we can actually allow to work, give them work permits, let them work, let them pay taxes, and require that every so many months they have to go home and reapply. And so if anybody's committing crimes, guess what? You're not going to get to come back. If you're doing everything you're supposed to, you'll get to come back. And that you could do it at a cost of probably half of the $25 that they're paying an hour right now. And they're going to get people that are probably willing to work a lot harder as well. So there's a lot of opportunity here if we sit down across the table and work.
Work together. Let me say one of the things that and you mentioned your opponent, so I'll mention her as well. One of the, I think, I don't know if it's a push card that she sent out there or a mailer that she sent out, is where she's trying to link you to the far left of the party, which is um, Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, trying to say that Dan Sanchez is in tune with them. But one of the comments that makes, who Mike is going to vote for Dan Sanchez, is that Maida caters to the Fox folks. And one of the concerns that I think a lot of people have out there, and they've shared these concerns with me, is all this money that Maida is receiving from all these outside agencies throughout the country. But the picture that is trying to the picture that is trying to be painted out there is Dan Sanchez will serve the far left, but Mayra Flores is receiving all this money from the far right. First of all, is Dan Sanchez going to be swayed, controlled by the far left?
Dan Sanchez is Dan Sanchez. He's always been Dan Sanchez. I've ironically, one of the far right newspapers attacked me for eliminating law enforcement down here. So a few years ago, when I was on the commissioner's court, right, we in Cameron County had 7 justice of the peace positions, right?
Right.
And there needed to be a reduction. My own court was reduced before I came onto the commissioner's court when I was a judge. And so what happened is we had 7 positions, only 2 in Brownsville. Brownsville had the majority of our population.
Violation.
So if anybody needs judges, it would be Brownsville, right? So
Yeah.
what we did is they merged some precincts to make La Feria and Harlingen become one precinct, and then they merged San Benito with Riondo to make it another precinct. So when you merge precincts, one of the judges that used to be in Riondo, that position was moved over to Brownsville. So there was no longer a precinct there because it had been merged. When you merge a precinct, you don't have more than one constable. There's only going to be one elected constable position. So what happens is all the deputies got put into the constable's area that it was merged in, but the actual elected constable could not be elected again because there was no longer a position. So I was being what you call fiscally conservative, what Republicans say they are, and I got attacked for it because they're saying I got rid of law enforcement, right? So,
Yes.
so what is it? Should I be fiscally conservative and be efficient with our resources at the county and the taxpayer dollar, or should we just hire a lot more law enforcement no matter the cost?
Well, fiscally responsible is where we want you to be at. So we appreciate, Judge. I appreciate your time. Thank Sam. You have anything else? Any other question for the judge before we send
Um,
him on his way?
Not at the moment, man. Everything seems about right. I know there's more questions on there as far as the comments. But yes, like, I know you mentioned like you're trying to like once you get into office, gonna try to figure out a way how to come up with more ideas. I just highly recommend to come up with some ideas. That way, that's your platform. Instead of saying like, "Hey, once we get in there, we'll debate
We'll
something.
figure it out.
We'll figure something out." And I'm thinking more of a person like, "Hey, you know what? Tell me your game plan to see if it sounds about right." You know. But that's just my suggestion. You know your field of political stuff, but that's just my suggestion. But that's it.
Judge Sanchez, thank you so much for your time. And again, open invitation. Whenever you have any time, you let us know. You come on and share your platform,
Oh,
share your
quick
views.
question: where's the victory party going to be at?
You know what? I haven't had time to think about that because we're too busy getting people to
Come
the
on, man,
polls.
you're being
But
positive.
I will announce it to you before the time comes. And let me tell you this: if Myra Flores is willing to come on the show, I would love to be on the show with her so that y'all can ask those tough questions and see how she responds. Because we've had 2 speaking engagements where there was a forum and she's failed to attend either one of them. And so to me, it's hard to ask people to come out and vote for you when you're not willing to answer their questions. I am
Well,
here anytime you want. You call me and I'll answer questions.
well, uh, I'll reach out to her again. Uh, I don't think that she's a very good public speaker to begin with. I think she's more in tune with TV commercials. But I'll reach out again, and I'll throw the gauntlet down for her. We'll have both of you on, and we'll have a forum. If and
Maybe we could get her into here.
Yeah, maybe that. I mean, but again, I agree with you. I really, for me, a candidate that is not accessible, a candidate that's not, and look, we didn't prepare for any of this, guys. We didn't, call each other up. I didn't, and the judge will vouch for me. I didn't call him up and say, hey, these are the questions we're going to ask. The judge didn't say this is off base. Don't touch about this. Don't talk about that. It was just at the spur of the moment. Come on, answer questions because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed
We
to have.
did say there were going to be tough questions.
Yeah. Judge, thank you so much, Judge. And we'll throw out the invite to Miss Flores. And if she's willing, I'll give you a call.
Thank you. And I want to take the opportunity right now personally to ask both of you for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. God bless. Stay
Que
strong
le,
and
que le vaya,
saludos a la familia.
absolutely, que le vaya bonito.
God bless.
Wait.
That was interesting. That was a that was a lot of fun. And guys, you have to appreciate when candidates, take the time out of their busy schedule to come onto a show. And this is not an easy show for candidates to come on out. It is not an easy show. Again, guys, nothing was prepared. I appreciate Judge Sanchez as that, and I appreciate him throwing his hat into the ring. One of the questions that was asked and it was being asked, and I think individual were asking was, "Oh, so you're refusing to work on both sides?" And let me say, guys, I'm not going to answer for the judge, but the judge specifically stated that he was willing to work with both sides. I'm sorry, guys. That is the type of individual we need. Individuals that are willing to go out there. One of the things that I think a lot of Democrats think that, oh, I can't work with the Republicans, and a lot of Republicans think, well, I can't work with the Democrats. Guys, it doesn't work that way. You have to
Yeah,
work with the other side. If you don't work with the other side,
you gotta have a
nothing gets.
balance.
Eh?
You gotta have a
You have to
balance.
have nothing happens, Sam. Nothing happens. We're not going to get anything done if you close yourself to this is the ideology of a party. Nothing gets done. So I can appreciate that Judge Sanchez made mention that he's willing to work with the other side. That's what we need. We
Hey,
need
but
this.
quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm pretty sure you
So,
have like a train of thought or something. But going back to the whole immigration thing, I think that isn't there that already in place about having the working visas and having to apply beforehand before coming into the, I guess, crossing the border. You
well,
gotta apply for the working visas. I think it's like B1 and B2, something like that.
no, the B two is a
Um,
visitor. The B2 is the visitor
yeah.
visa. the
Okay.
the visitor visa. The work permit is something that's totally different. A work permit,
Yeah.
you have to go through a whole process. And this, because I've read it, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't pretend to be an immigration attorney, but I have read online where you have to go to the Department of Labor to make sure that the job that you're trying to get, is one that is much needed here in the country. And let me say, one of
Yeah.
the things that I've seen. As because I do marry people on the bridge, I see a lot of folks coming over from Mexico with a work permit, and if they're coming over with a work permit, hey, more power to the people,
Yeah.
este, more power to the
Yeah, I
people.
know they get vetted, correct? They gotta make sure, like, hey, you cannot just get a work permit and then not work over here.
Exactamente. And plus they have to work for that same employer for a certain amount of time and then go back to Mexico. And then, and then
Yeah.
when there's another big old batch of work, then they come back. But again, I think what the judge mentioned, and again, I'm not putting words in the judge's mouth. I'm proud that he mentioned Title 42 because
Yeah.
that is one of the big talking points against a lot of the Democrat candidates. They're all against Title 42. He made mention that he's not against Title 42. He wants Title 42 in place until we can vet all these folks that are coming over. And I agree. Look, one of the things that Trump did was out there reach out to Mexico and say, "Hey guys, as to keep the people there." I mean, they're already receiving tons of money from us, and that's
Yeah.
a couple of the other questions we need to ask the judge whenever he has time to come back on in regards to all this money that we keep on shipping off to other countries. That is going to fall into his wheelhouse if he is elected to be the congressional representative for our area. And look, one of the things that I do hope that he has an opportunity to come back for us, because look, one of the things that I'm going to say out there, guys, I don't want a congressional representative to go out there and be touting the party's interests in Washington. I want a representative that is going to be fighting for Brownsville, for Cameron County, for our people, for our area. I don't want party toters. I don't want Democrats that are going to be Hueso Colorado Democrats, and I don't want
Yeah.
Republicans that are going to be Hueso Colorado Republicans. I want individuals that will be able to work with both sides of the field and get stuff done. It is
Yeah, and I've heard that there's like, but it's been years since they're saying that there's a shortage of like immigration judges. Like, what's the deal with that? Is there like no more funding for that? Is there like a slow process for that? Because I know there's like a years of wait for immigration documents or site. What's it called? Court hearings.
their caseload is crazy, Sam. But again, it's like this little domino
Can they
effect.
just get more
Well,
judges?
el
Or
problema, el problema, how many is too many? Look, it's a domino effect. If we didn't encourage people, come on over, and I'm sorry, one of the things that Biden did right when he went into office was he said, you know what? screw everything that Trump did in regards to securing the border. The first day, the first
Yeah.
day. So all of a sudden, you started to see all this huge influx of people that wanted to come into the country. So there's not going to be enough judges out there able to process all those cases. Si ahorita, bro, ahorita they're piled up. I mean, it'll take a year or a
And
couple of
all
years.
those, like, I guess I don't know what the correct term, like harboring or holding them in the hotels or transferring. That's also costing the government money.
That's
Why
costing
not
you.
invest that money that you're paying those contractors? Why not invest that into like the judges or lawyers or
Yeah,
whatnot, the
that's
process
costing you
itself?
and me. You know, that's costing.
Or like, and as well, there's also a shortage of like border patrol and customs of manpower in the border.
Well, yeah, but again, it's costing us. My
Yeah.
operation is not fit for car. Well, one of the other things that I'd hope to ask Judge Sanchez, and we could probably ask him later on, is his experience going to be helpful as a public servant? You know, don't think that Mayra Flores has served in any capacity as a public servant. Is his experience as a public servant in Cameron County, as a justice of the peace and as a county commissioner, going to be beneficial or helpful to him up in Congress? I mean, it is a 6 month term. How about helping the
I
taxpayer?
think she's just getting that ruckus, I guess, Trump follower bandwagon people, and everything that Trump says, pretty much she's just repeating it, and
Well,
that's how she's getting all the
well, this is
followers.
this is what really, and again, more power to Miss Flores, more power to anybody out there. Again, I don't want a Trump touter to run for Congress. I want someone that's going to represent not the party, it's going to represent the people here in this area. And this is where this Republican and Democrat fight really, really gets thrown out the window. Because let me say, guys, first of all, in regards to the corruption here, there's no doubt that Eddie Trevino is in power, Joey Lopez, Gus Reese, and Sophie Benavides. All these people are Democrats. All these folks that are on the county commission are Democrats. All the city commissioners are Democrats. And they've put us through crap and a half. They ripped us off blind. So that is why a lot of people think, well, maybe it's time to go red. Guys, I don't care if you're red or blue. It doesn't exclude you from being a damn rata. What we need to start electing is people that are going to be transparent, people that are going to fight for your rights, even if they don't believe in them. And look, this is why I'm the perfect candidate. Because let me tell you guys, I have fought for the individuals who wanted to keep smoking in bars. And you may think, well, that's insignificant, you know? Well, it's very significant because I don't smoke. You know, I have my Cuban cigars there, but I don't smoke. You know, I smoke one or two every so often, but I don't smoke. But I want to fight for the right of small business. I want to fight for the right of individuals. If they want to smoke, let them smoke. It's their life. And I
It's like
hate
right now when you ask Dan Sanchez, like, "Hey man, are you gonna be a far right person?" He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna be Dan Sanchez, and that's
ex-
who I'm gonna be."
exactamente.
It's him as a person, and not as like the carbon copy of the Democrat
Of
Party.
Pelosi and of Joseph Biden. No, I want someone that's going to fight for what's right. The other thing that I fought for was for one of our students that wanted to wear the girl's uniform. Let the kid wear the girl uniform. Would I wear the girl uniform? Maybe. No, I would not. But, you know, I want to protect the right of anyone that wants to wear the girl's uniform. Protect the rights of the people, not because it doesn't flow. The other thing that I got bashed on while I was serving on the BISD board was for that day of prayer. I mean, that whole group is a bunch of ratas. That whole hope, pray for together. It's a bunch of ratas. I don't care if they hide behind the Bible, they hide behind a church. I don't care if they do. They're a bunch of ratas. And when they
It
went out
wouldn't be
there,
the first nor the last.
it wouldn't be the first, exactamente. And they went out there to the board and they wanted a discount in order to rent Sam Stadium. And I voted against it. And one of the first things that they said to me was, Erasmo, you should have been the first one to be for it because you're a pastor. I'm not just a pastor. I'm the greatest pastor in Texas and north of Mexico. It's still wrong. It's still constitutionally wrong. There should be the separation of church and state. That's why I'm the perfect candidate, because I'm not going to cater to a party. I'm going to cater to the people. And that's the type of person that we need to start electing here. Not those, not the Ratas, not the Eddie Treviños, not the Joey Lopez, not the Trey Mendez, not none of these people. Reality of things, we have to control. We
We
have
have
no
no
control
control over nothing.
over anything. A double negative. We do have control, and your control is in the vote, shooter Torres. Let me say, I'm very proud that, and that's one of the other questions. And I apologize to Lolita. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask Stan Sanchez, but again, he had a prior commitment. I wanted to ask in regards to the arena. I did want to ask, just ran out of time. But hopefully, we'll have him back on. He said he would come back on, and let's ask him about the arena. I mean,
We
look at
could have
the
short like about an hour of that
yeah,
talk.
we need guys. It's not enough time, but shooter, we have control because we defeated together, my man. We defeated together the arena, and that should motivate people out there that the power is in the people, you and me, the people. And that's, I think, one of the things that these people are. Wait, she claims she was born in Mexico. Dan, was what is that supposed to mean? Well, I think what he was saying was that she regularly goes out there and mentions it. I was born in Burgos. I was born in Burgos. You and I were talking about that this morning on the show. She's always saying, "I'm from Burgos. I'm from Burgos. I'm from Burgos. I'm from Burgos. I'm Burgos." I think. And by the way, Sanchez has my vote. Thank you, Lourdes. Exactly. Mayra is who she is because of the opportunities, and La Immigrante wants to close the doors for others. But these people don't actually want to work because everything is given to them for free.
It's because people need to understand, man. Like we're not trying to like shut the border to where nobody can ever come in. Like we're trying to shut the border to where you come in here illegally. You can't come in here with a residency, with a work permit, with what's that other one, the border crossing one. What's it called?
La visa,
One the one where you're living the freaking border and you can cross back and forth. The
visa
one you
láser.
can't go past a checkpoint.
Yeah, visa láser.
Yeah, well, there's several ways of like being able to come over here, whatever you want to do, either visiting or just working. But there's a process, and it's there for a purpose. We're not trying to shut the damn border for everybody and forget and to screw everybody else. No, there is a process. We're trying to have people here. There might be some sort of labor shortage in certain areas, like he had mentioned, the hospitality. Um, some cities, the bigger cities, yes, they will pay a lot more than down here. When the in the island, they're trying to pay like $8, $9. People are not gonna go from Brownsville all the way to the island to do housekeeping for $8, $9.
100%. It's
But
crazy.
there has to be some sort of, like he says, there has to be some sort of balance
It is.
where
And
the Democrats and the Republicans like talk together and be like, you know what, this for that, you know. But
again, we just want individuals to come over the right way. Get in
yeah,
line. Because let me tell you, a lot of people, that they hate, they hate on Erasmo, or folks like me, because they say, "Oh, you just you're a Mexican that hates Mexicans." It's not that. I don't hate
and
Mexicans.
we understand it does cost a lot of money too,
Yeah, guys, I
and
hate
it
some.
takes time.
I hate some Mexicans, but not all the Mexicans. That's
And
just
some
a
of them
fact.
are your own family,
And
but
s-
oh
and mo-
well.
yeah, mo- and most of the ones I hate are family members of mine. But with that said, I want everyone to come over the right way. I mean,
Yeah.
all my family that immigrated here, guys, from the past, they did it the right way. They went through a process. They received their residency, then they received their citizenship, and now we have the pleasure of being third generation American citizens, and that's great. So Dan, what are you saying is that we should not pay Mexican employees $25, but we can pay them 12.50? I don't.
I know he was mentioning something about like $25 for the housekeeping, and I
Oh,
guess they're trying to get more people, like allow more. I guess with the work visas, because apparently the reason it goes up because not many people apply for those jobs in the big cities. They're just trying to get I guess, the easier jobs.
well, let me tell you,
So nobody applies. It's like in the island, nobody applies for the housekeeping or for the maintenance or anything like that. So
I'll
there's a
do
shortage of
I'll do
employees.
house cleaning for $25 an hour. I still can't find someone to. I need someone to come clean my house for $25 an hour. Let's face it. It does not matter what Dan says or believes. A Democrat will vote for whatever Nancy Pelosi wants. That's what Democrats in Congress does, especially when they're in the majority. It's a shame some people get misled by false promises of moderation that doesn't exist in Congress. Yeah, but it should
I
exist.
think that's happened in both parties, not just in
Yeah,
Democrats.
100%. I mean,
We gotta cut the BS. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. The same thing happened with it, and the Republicans were in power. You know, there was no wanting to work with anybody else. It's got to change sometime. You know,
Yeah.
it's got to change
Somebody like
sometime.
I understand Trump did had that like that talk where he was firm with stuff and had make things happen, and hopefully the next person in charge will do the same,
I hope.
whatever political position they're in.
China Chente received money from China, and guess who endorsed Des Sanchez? China Chente. Who's China Chente?
La
Oh,
de Chile,
Is it Vicente Gonzalez? I don't know.
I
Vote
don't know.
Republican November. Remove the true threat to the United States to Democrats. Well, I want you to vote red in the District 2 race. Yes. How does he feel about abortion? And that was one of the other questions that I wanted to ask. Again, didn't have time. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back. Victory Party won't be at the arena. Thanks, Erasmo. You messed that party up. And I'm proud. Where's Maggie? Maggie has abandoned ship.
She's already started her retirement.
Yes, she's enjoying her retirement life at BIZ. Samuel, low key, a Republican.
Well, it is what it is. What you want to label me, but there's certain ideology, and then I just believe in that. You know, vote for the person itself and how they act and how they think.
Why
And
care
that's
what Maida thinks? She's a Republican, so she gets my vote, my family's vote. No one in this house votes for any Democrats. Well, I'm glad that your household falls in my district, but I'm sure I'd be getting your vote either way.
well, that's a good 4 votes for you.
Amen. Let's see. One, two, three, four. I think there's five votes in that household. Erasmo, what are your thoughts on for school days Santa Rosa SD has? Yeah, I'm all for it. Let me tell you,
I think. Sorry,
I'm
if
actually
I'm confirm, if I'm sure if it's the same process as the other one, they're gonna do 4 days school days, and then the Friday's gonna be virtual. But I'm
let me
just
say,
doing the same thing.
I'm for 4 day school days and 4 day work days.
You do 3 week work and then 1 week vacation.
Well, yeah. Because I'm Erasmo Castro, damn it. Mayra is told what to say, read a script, Erasmo, which is why she can't say much when asked questions. I'm sorry, guys, that bothers the crap out of me.
Yeah,
Bothers the crap out of me when you got a candidate that cannot or won't speak.
like speak for yourself.
You
Like,
know,
come on. Like,
Sam, you've seen it, Sam.
don't
It's
try to like.
it's irritating. Yeah, it's irritating that people go this talking point, this talking point, this talking point, this time. No, speak. I'll be honest. I wouldn't support Maida bothering to talk to you. That's what you cannot talk about having to work with everyone, but yet terrible things about them while speaking to their opponent. You can't swing both ways. I don't. I'm not understanding this. I will be honest. I wouldn't support Maida bothering to talk to you, Erasmo. Well, let me tell you, I am one of her registered voters, Fonseca, and that's what's unfortunate. See, Maida hasn't done well in regards to reaching, and you're a Maida supporter. And look, if you cannot see the flaws of the candidate that you're out there supporting, the case is lost. Because if she continues, tries to piss everyone who might be able out there to be voting for her, what the hell is she running for anyway? Does she truly believe that solely with the Republican vote she's going to make it? Are you stupid? Are you playing dumb stupid? That's the part. That's the problem with partisan politics. That's the problem. Because all you see is red. I don't see red. And I don't see blue. I see my community before any of this crap. So screw you and screw anyone that refuses to speak about what their freaking platform is. Chicken shits.
because we try to get like their, I guess, their point of views out there, be it
No,
like
but they don't
either
care
the
to.
Democrat or the
No,
Republican.
but
Like, Put it out there.
Part of the problem with Fonseca and everybody else out there is they think that because they're receiving all this freaking money that they don't have to talk
And
to
it's
Sam.
quite a bit.
Yeah, they don't have to talk to Sam. They don't have to talk to Erasmo. They don't have to talk to anyone they don't want to talk to.
They think it's like already it's already in the pocket, just like the arena.
You
Just
cannot
because you
talk
spend
about
money
having
on
to
it.
work with everyone but say terrible things about them while speaking to their opponent. What terrible thing did I say? That she can't speak? That's a terrible thing. She can't speak to save her damn life. She hasn't shown up to any forums. She hasn't. I've I've tried to reach out to that individual twice. Have not yet get heard once.
That's one more than the rest of the people.
I'm a voter. But see, that's the problem with people like Fonseca. They blind
And
themselves.
and
Like, oh,
they should be able to be reachable, you know?
well, Sam, this is the problem. If they're not accessible to you while they're running for office, do you really think that if they win the seat, they're going to be accessible to you, Sam? ¿De qué nos sirven entonces, huh?
Yeah.
What good are they?
You would just get a call from one of their secretaries.
And see, and that's the problem with Filemon Vela. No one could reach him, Sam, ever.
Yeah.
You'd always talk to an individual, to an individual, to an individual. And oh no, but you know what? Hey, I'm red, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
What about vetting candidates? What about
Because
going,
that's what's in right now,
Yes.
being a bandwagon Republican
exactamente,
or
and
a
that's
bandwagon Trumpster.
and for so long, all these stupid Republicans, were out there saying, all these stupid Republicans, oh, don't vote for party because the party was in power. Don't vote for the blue, vote for the candidate. But now it's like she doesn't have to talk, she doesn't have to come out and say anything, but y'all got to go vote for her. Win my vote, damn it. You know? Take me out to dinner and a
Like,
movie before you
let
try
me
to
hear
screw me
the way
over.
you think. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, let me hear your thoughts.
Oh, we're not going to recommend for her to come and speak to you because you're talking bad about. I talk bad about everybody, stupids.
It's not that we're trying to talk bad about this person. Like, just by giving constructive criticism, it might help them, you know. But at that point, I don't know if she has any help.
I wouldn't support Myra bothering to talk to you, Erasmo. Well, I'm a voter, dumbass. Democrats are pushing gay education to young children. Oh, come on, man. Democrats are pushing to allow men to compete in women's sports. I don't think it's just the Democrats. Dan has asked to run to cover the shady stuff that happens in Washington. He won't do much. Face it, a part timer. The governor goofed to ask for a special election, but it was what it is. Yeah, and I've actually had this question: why so many elections this year? You know, and again, one of the and look to all those people out there supporting Myra. Good luck, guys. It's the good luck in that respects. But to Fonseca, I don't know who the hell that person is, but let me tell you guys, I don't give a rat's behind if you hated Erasmo. You could hate Erasmo all you want. The Republican Party needs to understand that they need Erasmo because they need my people to come and vote for them as well as they're going to come and vote for me. And you better believe if there's one Republican candidate that has a crap load of Democrat people that are going to vote for him, it's Erasmo Castro. And you damn sure will need my people to vote for you. But come on my show. Come on and comment. And come and piss me off, Fonseca. I don't know who the hell you are. The minute guns are taken away from the citizens, our country will turn exactly like Mexico. Let me tell you,
No one's gonna take away the guns.
I have screamed it out. I cannot stand Beto O'Rourke. I think he's a piece of crap. I think he's worthless. I think that when he stated, I'm going to take away the guns, that's what put the last nail in the coffin for me personally. I support the Second Amendment. I support the right to bear arms because I'm a constitutionalist before I'm a party toter. Remember when Democrats used to deport illegals? Remember the little Cuban boy that was deported under Bill Clinton's? That's Elian Gonzalez. That
I remember that one too.
was a horrible event, actually.
But that was because the father had still had rights over him.
Yeah, that was a horrible, horrible, horrible cancel. That was a horrible, horrible incident. And I remember that little boy's name, Elian Gonzalez, actually.
Yeah.
Elian Gonzalez. Horrible incident, and that did happen to the Democrats. Here
But
you
it's
go.
crazy how they have that, I guess, that treaty with wherever you Cubans land in the country, they're able to get the,
I'm not
I
going to
guess,
vote for Maida because she sounds like Fox News is like Trump derangement syndrome. Look at the person, not the party. I first of all, I didn't say that. If you're accusing me of saying that, uh, I think you're losing it. I never said that. That was a comment that Mike made that I read. What
yeah.
I did share, and I'll be very, very clear to all the Republicans that are watching, because I'm going to get phone calls tomorrow. I'm going to get phone calls from Roman and everybody else. What I've said is and let me make this very clear, Fonseca, so you can go back and tell Maida and everybody else in the Republican Party. What I've said is one of my big concerns is the big money that the candidate is receiving. It's my concern because let me tell you, Erasmo Castro does not run races on millions of dollars, on hundreds of thousands of dollars, any race. And one of the things that I've always spoken against was is campaign finance reform. I hate when candidates look at our mayor spend $250,000 on a race for mayor that pays him nothing. Same thing with all these city commissioners that spend $150,000 for these
Well,
races.
on payroll is nothing, but everything else,
Of course, that's my first concern. The second thing that I said, and again, so that all the Republicans are very, very clear, because you're hearing it from me, you're not hearing from Forseca, you're not hearing it from other people that want to put words in my mouth. The other thing that I'm concerned with is that we've invited Maida to come and speak. She refuses to come and speak, refuses to come and speak. And that is concerning to me because she will only guarantee anywhere that she goes like 10, 15 minutes, because that's where her talking points end. That's what I was told this morning from the individual that supposedly is running her campaign. And I said, that's a piece of crap. And that's a crock of crap because any candidate that cannot support a platform, cannot share with us why she is running for office, what she brings to the table, she cannot stay an hour and refuses to debate her opponents. I have issues with. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I have issues with. That's what I said. So I don't care if I piss off all the Republicans out there. Y'all should know me better than that. I'm not going to tout. And I mentioned this because I spoke in front of the Republicans and I mentioned it to them. I said, guys, it's not about the Reds. It's not about the Blues. It's about community when we were talking about the arena. And we were successful because that kind of crap actually works. This partisan crap is not going to work. The partisan crap is not going to work because at the end of the day, Fonseca, the Reds need my blue people to vote for you. Just haven't figured it out. And I mentioned, I don't know if you were there or not. I mentioned at that meeting, I said, guys, we have to fight for community. We have to be the party that fights for community, not the red talking points. So Dan said he couldn't run for state senator to devote time to family. I guess Washington is closer than Austin now. He knew back in December Philemon was going to resign and decided to wait to run. I have not heard Dan Sanchez say that he couldn't run for state senator. Did he say that, Sam?
I don't recall him saying anything like that.
I don't remember. I might be wrong. Hell yeah, I would. Hell yeah, you would. I don't know what you said. Don't
Yeah,
worry
I
about
can't
this
recall.
one. Whoever wins is just a letterhead. He won't do anything. Just wait. Nada. He won't do anything. Um, yes, I agree. Noble headhunter. You can't do crap in 6 months. Nothing.
You're
And
barely getting the like the idea of it, the handle of it,
you
the handle
Noblehead,
it.
you're 100% correct, and I'm not fooled. They're not going to do anything. Just have to be approachable. You know, because one of the things, and let me say this, guys. One of the things that I think that Dan Sanchez is getting, and this is again opinion, guys. I think Dan Sanchez is interested in possibly later on, you know, seeking the seat, the full term seat, you know, and
Yeah.
it's a good getting your feet in the water type of situation. Either candidate is not going to accomplish anything in the last 6 months of this year, guys, especially with the November elections. You know, nothing is going to be accomplished by either one of the candidates. You're 100% correct. And Mayra Flores wants to go out there and, say, hey, I'm the congressman. Vote for me in November. And that's a smart thing to do. She's not going to make it if she refuses to talk to the people.
And then just to confirm, Vela resigned to become a lobbyist, correct?
Honest, the truth, I really think that Vela resigned because the feds were on his butt. And
Or was that Lucio? Who became a lobbyist?
both of them. I think everyone out there, it makes no sense for Eddie Lucio the third to resign. It makes no sense for Vela to resign. I think that they saw trouble coming their way and they said, you know what? We're skipping town. It
Jumping
makes
ship.
it makes no sense. So again, I have no love for Filemon Vela. I think he was worthless. I think he did nothing for us. Nothing. Nothing.
I
Do
think
I
many politicians have done nothing
do
recently.
yes, unfortunately, we get nothing. Nothing. Are we going to get anything from Maida and from Dan and for anyone that wins this seat for the next 6 months?
Not
Nothing. I just want them to be approachable. I want them to be likable. You know why, Sam? Because I'm a damn voter. Immigrants cost us money. It costs us sending Jeff Bezos to Mars through sales tax loopholes, property subsidies, and federal tax avoidance schemes. Mike, you don't even know half of those words that you're putting up there. And those were some
It's
good
not that
views.
we hate illegals. It's just the fact that there's already a process in place.
Yeah, let's just follow the
Yeah,
rules that
it's
are in
gonna suck
place.
for people that are like have no way to provide those documentations that they ask for, which is sometimes like too much, and sometimes it's not uh verifiable because some people live in little cities, and when they go to the little cities, there's no records of anything. But yes, it does suck for certain people, and their only choice is just to go across illegally and take that chance. Unfortunately,
The arena, like Crazy Roman says, was due to the other cities. But okay, Mike, I'm going to share with you the same conversation I had with Roman. Guys, do not diminish the efforts of people
yeah.
that were actually vocal against it, guys. You know, because I want to think that we had a part, Mike. You had a part in getting this arena voted down. And the problem with Roman, and I've had this conversation with him before, you cannot diminish the work that a lot of people put into it, man, to vote against.
I think it was a group effort within the whole
Yeah,
country, the
guys.
whole county.
Yeah, Mike. Don't fall into that, man, because I thanked everyone that did something. You know, was it bien poquito? It, it was something. Did I sway 2, 3 votes? 2, 3 votes mattered in that election, man. So we can't diminish and say like, well, it's all the other cities that we got to be thankful for. No, man. I want to thank you for your work. I want to thank the people that would send me memes for their work. I want to thank everyone. We were in this together. And see, that's part of the divisiveness that I really cannot stand. And unfortunately, it's like, well, don't think that you had anything to do with this. It was the other cities in the valley. That's my problem with that statement, Mike.
Like, yes, it would be great if we were to get together with the lady that was there in Harlingen that was pushing for a huge no for the arena. And if we could get all the people that are against the political machine, just like JB Garcia. Um, but man, it's sometimes there usually has to be that better network.
100%. Sorry, let me go quick. The Republican, we need a Republican that sides with Republican views. No more flip flopping Democrats. Well, Beto O'Rourke is horrible. The Republicans do the same thing. The cheese is marrying half of Mexico, so he is partially responsible for the increase of our population. Ah! I'll go kick the dog that bit you for 25 bucks. You got a deal. The sad thing is both candidates have issues. Maida said she was picking cotton, lied. El Run Run called her out and she took her video down. There were machines. Why lie about it? No integrity. Yeah, I agree. I need another $20 a day maid to come over. Damn, COVID, screw the housekeeper from coming over. Yeah, I need that one too. What family in Mexico is Maida's connected to? What is her political connections? I
I
don't
don't
know.
think she does. She's just married to a border patrol guy, and that's where she gets the whole border security information from.
Maggie, I have not abandoned ship. Haven't seen you on, girl. I'm gonna vote for Kanye. Miss Maggie, where are you? Good evening, Mr. Castro and Psychic Sam, Chango Marango, Chango Marango, Chupapi Mayango.
Chupamon-
Fonseca, an idiot. Maida's doomed. At the debates, Maida had pages of typed answers. She's the darling of the Trumpsters. She's not a good candidate. Oh, but she is so pretty. Just because she's Republican, you need to support her. Yeah, and this is another conversation I had with folk in the Republican Party. Is that the best that we could do as Republicans? Really? Why would she bother talking to you? You can't even speak without that vein popping out. I got a vein popping out for you. Far right Republicans need to stop reading the U.S. Constitution like they read the Bible. Selective. I read it all. I I get what you and Sam are saying. Commercials aren't everything. I like debates. Yes, and Harry, Hillary, that's what we want. We want them to go at each other. That's what I want to see. I want a Hillary. I want a candidate with balls. I want a candidate with cojones.
Be it a female or male, just for the record.
Yes, that yeah,
But has that courage to speak, you
that
know?
will fight for you, that will fight for me, that will fight for our community. That's what I want. I don't care if they're red or blue. Just fight for our community. Erasmo, you are brave to speak truth. She will not do a good job because she has no insight, just narrative. Pro God, pro family, pro guns. And that, Republicans everywhere out there, is not enough.
Yeah.
Just because you're pro God, pro family, pro guns, you know, it's not enough.
Like, go more into detail.
Yeah, it's not enough. Democrats need to read the Bible and see that some of their beliefs will lead them to hell. Fire
Well,
and
I'm pretty
brimstone.
sure it says there freedom of religion, so you can read whichever Bible you want.
Fire and brimstone. Sam's going to hell because he stopped going to church.
You can go to hell and I can go to Texas.
I'm telling you, that's what Republicans don't like you. They don't. Bro, just be a conservative Democrat. No, I hate both parties. Democrats have crap all over their country. Wake up. True. Erasmo, are you going to the BISD town hall for school safety? There will be like several law enforcement agencies June the 9th. Uh, I might. Send me the time. I'll go. 5 viewers, including me.
That's just for one page, to be honest. But there were over like at that moment there were like over 100 people watching.
Oh,
Mrs.
this
Karen,
is part of the issue.
and it's funny because you're Karening, like you're embracing the name, but
Let
no
me tell you,
offense.
yeah, let me tell you, Fonseca, you just switched your beautiful behind from YouTube to Facebook. Keep on going through all the pages of Facebook. You'll see some viewership, baby. Stupid Republican. Did she show up?
Did
No.
he show up? Dan showed up.
Is Mayra connected to the cartels? Why is she so suspicious? Suspicious. Suspicious. Fonseca, it is probably Mayra Flores behind a fake account.
Mm,
I don't know.
I don't think so. She would have less words.
Good night, Fonseca. Mayra has the Republican support, so she isn't worried because she has their backing. that Rey Gonzalez was a better candidate. Dr. Rey Gonzalez is an imbecile. Unfortunately, Republicans and Democrats are both trying to get your vote by lying about their opponents. Instead of giving you reasons to vote for them, they give you reasons to vote for the other, not to
Not
vote for the other.
for.
Yeah.
Yes.
What you fail to understand, oh, this is Roman trying to teach me. Well, you fail to understand because you are blinded by not getting her attention. Roman, you were the one that was pissed off because you didn't get her attention. Now that you're in the good graces of the Republican Party, now she actually speaks to you. So now she's okay. But you were the one that was out there, one of the first ones actually out there to say that she didn't even live in the district. Is her campaign reaching out to Democrats via mailers and other targeted advertising? The money she's raising is for that. You speak about your Democrat supporters, but trashing fellow Republican nominees will alienate Republicans from voting for you. You need everyone of those GOP votes to beat Joey. Let me tell you, I want every single one of the Republican voters out there to vote for Erasmo Castro because of the crap that Joey Lopez has done. It's that simple. But at the end of the day, if all those stupid Republicans want to go vote for Joey Lopez, screw them. You know, screw them. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that they're doing, Roman, and you haven't understood this because now that you have this little position out there in the Republican Party, now you're all gun ho because they're feeding you little tidbits. They're keeping you happy because they don't want you out there screaming at the top of your lungs against them, which is exactly what you were doing, my friend, 4 weeks ago. Unlike you, Roman, I don't give a rat's behind what they throw my way. They could throw money my way. They could throw signs and push cards my way. And at the end of the day, I don't care because I'm still going to fight for the community as a whole. And I'm not going to be out there touting the party or trying to ride anyone's coattails because she's received $400,000 from Republicans from cities that I can't even pronounce. What I fail to understand. Jeff Bezos' rockets can't reach Mars. Hey, Danny. Danny's my cousin. Mike should come on the show and debate Erasmo. That'd be interesting. I'm not diminishing Erasmo. Don't be ridiculous. Sometimes I feel that you are. But if you take me out for lunch or dinner, I might forgive you. He did say he did say he wasn't running for state senator. He put that on his Facebook, then erased it. He will make connections and make money by getting a job elsewhere. China Chente wants Dan to avoid Mara. Who is China Chente? Is that Vicente Guerrero Gonzalez or something?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I didn't follow the guy that. My problem with your statement is you're completely misleading my statement, but it's not surprising. I still like you, Roman. You just gotta stop being a pansy. It's very hard for me to join the
You can't
show.
say that it's June month. You offended Roman.
It's very hard for me to join the show when you don't send me the link. Maggie,
Oh
you're
my
never available
God, Maggie, are you serious?
ever, and I still want to believe that what we do is important. So I want all of us to dedicate a little bit of time to be out here.
Oh, it's because somebody removed himself from the
Helpful.
group that we
It's
had
important.
because someone was having
You
a
know,
bad day.
damn inflation must be really tough. I remember when John White used to only pay his maid $10. That bastard. I need that type of maid.
It's ridiculous.
Cancel.
That's ridiculous.
Why is my Siri? The worst thing to call someone is crazy is dismissive. I don't understand this person. So they're crazy. They cray cray. That's bull crap. These people are not crazy. They strong people. Mm, They cray cray. I don't know. People complain about Maida using notes during debates, but yet the president can't say anything without a teleprompter. That is true.
Dario cannot
But
save himself
again,
without a
don't
prompter.
you want a candidate that can actually
One
speak?
sec.
Cancel. Siri.
1 second.
Siri, cancel. My Apple products.
Hey Siri.
I want a candidate that can actually speak.
I was
What
hoping
the hell?
Siri will pick
I
up when I
didn't
said
get that.
Siri.
Could you try again?
Cancel Siri. Siri, cancel. All these women trying to tell me what to do. All these women like Roman. Damn, El Gallo, you're right. What about the other candidates that are running too? Right now, I think everyone's decided that the only two candidates out there is Mayra against Stan. The other ones are just going to probably make it go into a runoff, and then we're going to have another election. Now you remind me, I was almost going to pay my new maid double. Hit the guys, if you're on YouTube, those uh Fonseca, those 51 people on YouTube, Fonseca, stupid Fonseca.
Relax.
Those 52 people on YouTube, like that damn page. Less words, that's a good one. Let's let it go, Roman. Yes, Roman, she made your pals from previous web pages turn on you, didn't she? Yes. But now everything's okay. Both Democrats and Republicans suck ass. Democrats don't know how to govern. Republicans want the worst for everyone but their corporations. Because the right wing and the left wing are still part of the same damn bird. I remember when Maida emasculated Roman, clip these nuts on his Real Politics show. I didn't even see that. It sounds interesting. Who is Maida Flores? Kennedy? We don't know. Roman now is a kiss ass for the Republicans because of his little job title to keep him talking nice. Be like Erasmo. Preach, brother. They're listening to Erasmo. I know they are. They all listen. And this is something that Fonseca and the Republican Party ignore. Erasmo Castro is listened to by not just the Reds, not just the Blues, but also the individuals that cannot vote in this community. And that's what's ultimately important because anyone that's going to be out there to serve the community are going to serve the community as a whole. I don't want anyone out there mistreating our people that are here, be they voters or be they illegal aliens. Unlike you, I understand strategy and numbers, which is why you ask me all the time to run your campaign. Yeah, I'm just joking when I do that. Because let me tell you, I don't want anybody running my campaign, Roman. Come on, you should know me better than that, Papa. I don't want anyone running my campaign. No one is ever going to control Erasmo Castro. Ever. You need GOP
Not
voters.
even himself.
Huh? What?
Not even yourself can control.
No. You need GOP voters. I've never said otherwise. I need every single GOP voter out there. I need every single Democrat voter out there. Voters and some Democrats in order to win your race. But the more you alienate GOP voters, the harder it will be for you to win difficult redrawn seat. No, I don't need her attention or ever did. As a Republican, I'm supposed to support all Republicans after the primary. That word pisses me off. I'm
Supposed?
supposed to.
Yeah.
You heard it, Sam. I'm supposed to do this. Let me tell you, Roman. No one, no one controls Erasmo Castro. Not the Democrats, and not the Republicans. No one controls Erasmo Castro. I'm not going to do that. I'm supposed to do this. No one. I fight for my community. If the Republicans don't like that, screw them. If the Democrats don't like that, screw them. Look, guys, there are things more important than being a Republican or a Democrat. There are things more important than winning a race, and that is integrity, and that is courage to stand up and fight for what you believe in, not what an organization that meets in secret up north somewhere that is willing to put hundreds of thousands of dollars in your pocket. Not those guys. Roman, hi Siri, play hello. Is it me you're looking for? I could see it in your eye. Nobody clicked anything, Miss Nobody. I think they prefer Mister. You're right. Is that the best Republicans can do as a candidate for Congress? Glad you recognize it. Dan is not a good candidate either. Spending 150,000, really?
You only have two options, and it's either you gotta choose the, I
Yeah,
guess,
but
the
I,
better of the
but
two options.
let me say this, guys. I want both of them to ask for my vote. I want both of them to win over my vote because I'm not going to vote for Maida because I'm supposed to. I'm not going to vote for Dan because I'm supposed to. I want them to win my vote. Isn't that what a democracy is all about? It's not because I'm supposed to vote for her. I'm not going to play that freaking game.
It's like what they do in Mexico. Oh, es porque es el PRI o el Partido Verde. You gotta vote for them. O el PRD.
I'm going to vote for the candidate. And again, I haven't voted yet. I'm going to vote for the candidate that wins my vote. And I haven't taken my family to vote yet. And we're all live in the district. I want the candidates to fight for my vote because that's what they're supposed to do. And it really trips me out because all of a sudden everyone thinks that, oh, you're supposed to go out there and you know push her campaign. I'm not going to be pushing anyone's campaign that's not pushing mine. Does Maida have a dual citizenship? I do not know. I know that I do. Well, that was interesting.
It'd be great if he was here to be answering more questions. Unfortunately, he had prior commitments.
But hopefully we
It
can
is
get him.
what it is.
Hopefully we can get him
Or
back.
or was that a typical scheme from a politician who's like, hey, just short and simple?
One of the things that I know about Dan Sanchez is that he could probably spend 2 hours here talking.
Yeah.
Again,
No.
I know him. I know his family. He could probably spend 2 3 hours here talking. Guys, make candidates fight for your vote. Simple as that. Make sure that the candidates that you're voting for are accessible. You know, make sure the candidates are accessible. Make sure
And
that
like you mentioned, Dan has more, I guess, public appearances, helping out the public and being out there compared to
no
Mario's
one's
buddy.
controlling me. Supposed to does not mean that. What is supposed to? Sam, did you understand it exactly the way I understood it?
What other way are you supposed to interpret that?
Come on, Roman. You have a great argument. Thank you, Shooter. Love you, Papa. None of them have convinced me to vote for them. You're right. They need to tell us what they will do. I'm going to toss a coin. Uh, I'm still going to vote.
They need to be more specific as far
You know
as
what?
like
At the end of the day,
that.
for anyone out there, let me say this: anyone out there that is not convinced by either candidate, Mayra and Dan Sanchez, vote for the other two. You know, if neither one of the candidates has appeased you, you know, has not reached out, sufficed to you, vote for the other candidates. Either one of the other candidates. Make it go into a runoff. Let them spend more money on this race. You know, maybe let's make them want to come out, you know, and be a little bit more vocal. So, my suggestion now is vote for the other candidates out there. You got another Republican candidate that you could vote for. So, if the party wants me to vote for a Republican, I'll vote for the other one. I'll vote for Jamie, you know? So, guys, if neither one of the top candidates has convinced you, vote for the other two guys. So, people to say she's the only one running is not very smart. People that say that it was. John, consider voting for Jamie. She's a Republican. Consider voting for Janie. It's all just vote for Janie. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will devote to one and despise the other. That's scripture. Is Mexican politics filtrating the valley at full speed? Well, the cartels are, I'll tell you that much. Fighting for your vote equals free plates or enchiladas. What happened to veterans? Student had a gun in his vehicle with clips. Got arrested. Sorry, that's what Dan's a lawyer. So remember, they BS when they have to. Yes, I will vote for Juana Cabrera Cantu. Guys, vote for the other two. And that's all I have to say for today. I need to get home because I need a drink.
It's crazy how Myra has like the sign de Burgos on her what's it called? The Facebook background.
Reina,
Pandering.
yeah, I haven't seen it. Has the other candidate asked for your vote? No, but neither have the top two vote getters. Well, Dan Sanchez actually asked for our vote. That's for sure. Best, you know, I'm voting for Janie. Maida and Dan are no, no.
Well, hopefully Janie will come on the show one of his days and give her point of view, her platform.
Maybe you could reach out to her. Can you try and find her?
I'll
Since
see
you
what I
got
can do.
since you got so much time on your hands, guys, have a
Hopefully
great, great evening.
dog into here.
I'll see you at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be on with Roman. I'm sure. uh, I will get her. Well, yeah, you get everyone. Guys, have a
There
great,
you
great
go.
evening. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, still and all that crap. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.
Peace.
Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning.